Hi, everybody. Sorry, I have a cold. Hello, I hope you can hear me. I don't see anybody else in here yet, but I hope you can see me. It's Annie. It's been a minute since we were on live. Thank you so much for clicking, for tuning in. I have got great news. And yeah, so if you'll watch this after the recording, that's still fine. But I'm so happy to be here answering your questions. So I got a number of questions on my Facebook, my Instagram, and some of them on YouTube. So I'm going to start off with those questions. There are about 10 questions that I'm going to answer over here. So if you're going to be watching this later, that's still fine. But I'm happy to see you. I'm so happy to meet you guys. I'm starting these live sessions every week so that I can meet you guys, get to know you, and you get to know me. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And I hope you can hear me because there's nobody to confirm yet, as of yet. But yeah, I'm so excited to be here, so excited to meet you. And as I said, I'm creating these live streams every week now just to get to know you and also get the opportunity to interact with you. Hi, Motherhood Chronicles. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate. If you have a question, leave it in the comment or use the pinned link to join me on live. Oh, Accord TV. Hello, girl. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm so glad you guys can hear me. Anybody else? Motherhood. What are you saying? Oh, you're saying hi to Accord. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming. I really do appreciate that. So as I was saying, these lives, I'm going to be going live every month just to interact with you, get to know you, you know me. Yeah, and ask away your questions. So I'm just gonna start by answering some questions that I got on my Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any, please just leave them in the comment section. Also, please like the video so that so many people can get access to this. Accord TV, umepotea sana. Where have you been, Gali? We are all asking. Yeah, so I'm just gonna dive into the video. I will be checking the comments if there's any question, but I have great news coming out of Canada, which I'm gonna leave at the end of the video as well. So these are the questions. The first question was, I need to travel to Canada. What can I do? Yeah, I saw this question on my Instagram and I was like, okay, it's a very hard question to answer, but we will answer it. I need to travel to Canada. What can I do? Welcome to Canada, first of all. Canada is inviting everybody. Canada needs people. Canada really, really, really wants people to move here. And once you're here, actually, there are so many ways that you can stay. So how can you move to Canada? How can I help you move to Canada? You need to help yourself first by, first of all, tell me your background at least. Hi, Martha. Oh, thank you so much, Martha, and welcome to my live. I really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. If you have a question, leave it in the comment. Motherhood is already asking a question. Motherhood Chronicles, I'm just gonna star your question and then I'll come back to it. Yes, yes. You're welcome, Wahoo. So as I was saying, people are like, I need to come to Canada. How do I do that? Or what can I do? So good start already. Already you have a vision, you want to come to Canada. How can I help you? I need to help you by, first of all, telling me a little bit of your background. What do you want to come to do in Canada? Do you want to come to stay as a resident, permanent resident, and eventually a citizen? Do you want to come as a student? Do you want to come to visit someone? Do you want to come? so many ways of coming to Canada. Unless I know exactly your motivation of coming to Canada, then I can advise you appropriately. But yes, you can come to Canada through student visa, through visitor's visa. Speaking of a visitor's visa, now until February 2023, you can come as a visitor and change your visiting visa to work permit while you're within Canada. So you can take advantage of that. We have about 4 months now. So visitor's visa is the easiest to get. So if you can come here and then change, you will be given an employer specific work permit. So that's expiring in February, so take note. Are there so many jobs? Martha Chronicles, are there so many jobs in Canada the way we hear people say? Oh my gosh, there are lots of jobs in Canada, lots and lots of jobs in Canada. Let me tell you, just days ago, and I think I'm gonna do a video about that, Canada has actually come up with a temporary a policy to lift the 20-hour work. So students only used to work 20 hours per week. That, as of now, as of 2 days ago, has been lifted because they need workers. Employers are complaining that no people to work. So there are so many jobs here. There's so many jobs. It's not even a lie. I'm not gonna even lie about that. So yeah, there's so many jobs. This is an aging country. People are really aging out, and like there are no people to work. A lot of Canadians also don't want to work because the government literally paid them for not working. I mean, you have just a small excuse of not working. The government is gonna pay you some monthly stipend. So people are like, oh, why should I work if the government is gonna give me that money? So yeah, we have employers really needing workers. So yes, that's true. Let me go back to Martha's comment so that she does not think that I'm avoiding her. Was it Martha? No, it was motherhood. Okay, let's see. If I travel on a student visa, after how long can I bring my kids? Oh my gosh. So you can come with your kids. Like you can come with your kids. You can apply, and in that application, you add your dependents and your kids, and you state clearly that you want to come with them. So you can come with them immediately. However, there are people who prefer to come first and like make a living and like try to find how life is right here, and like just to make a base of now coming with the entire family. It's much of a risk if you come with your entire family. You're coming to a new country, you're bringing the whole family here, you guys are figuring it out. But you can come with your kids with them once you get your visa, so you can come with them immediately. Yeah, but a lot of people prefer to come first so that they can see how life is here before they bring their family. So yeah. And as I said, on a student visa, now it's even getting better. Now they're allowing people to work over 20 hours, so like unlimited hours. But again, that is a policy just going for 1 year until December 2023. But I think they will extend it. Canada just keeps getting better at inviting immigrants. There's so many jobs in Canada the way we hear people say. Yeah, I have answered that. So many jobs. Let's see. Education and kids. Is it expensive to access education in Canada for kids, primary and secondary, if you're not a citizen or a permanent resident? Okay, so your kids will go to school for free, my dear. As long as it's primary and secondary, they are paid for by the government. The only time you're gonna start to pay a fee is after college, of which post-secondary education is subsidized by the government. So you can get student loans and all that, and by that time you will have become also a permanent resident, so the fee will not be as expensive. Otherwise, for primary and secondary, it is free. How do you survive the cold? I hear it's cold most part of the year. Yeah, that's true, motherhood. Oh my gosh. It's super cold here. Very cold in Canada. But there is There is a province that is not that cold, British Columbia. A lot of people are now moving to British Columbia. It is not so cold, however, it's still cold. Like compared to Kenya or any other tropical country, it is still cold. Winter goes up to -20, but the good thing in British Columbia, the -20 only goes for 2 weeks, and then it stays up to -14, -7, -0, and then it gets warmer. But hapa too, we just have to wear jackets, we layer up, you wear lots of warm clothes. People do survive here. Also, the other thing is that all houses, workplaces are actually warmed. You know, the temperature is controlled. So the only place you will feel cold is outside, of which not so many people stay outside when it's winter. So the only time you'll be feeling the cold is when you move from your house to your car, or your house to the bus, and then from the bus to your workplace. And then once you get to your workplace, or once you get to school, those rooms are heated. Anyway, people cannot survive without those rooms being heated. So yeah, it is cold, but people survive. We survive, my friend. It's just about what brought you here and what you want. People do survive. This very aging population did not give birth. That's so funny. Yeah, you know, like most of the Western world, at some point they just started having like one kid or two kids. That's it. So some of them even prefer not having kids, and you know, everybody have a right. So yeah, I mean, they are not having so many kids the way we have in Africa, my friend. They are not, but even like in Kenya, like I see the population is going down, and people are now having like 3 kids, 2 kids, 4 ikienda sana. Back in the days, my parents, like my mom had 6, it could be even more. So I think I don't know, but Canada, there are not a lot of young people, so that's why they need workers. And I can tell you, once you arrive in Canada in whatever visa, there are so many opportunities that they will try to lure you with. Lure you, I'm using that word loosely, to stay. It's a lot of opportunities. So usually what I tell people is get yourself in Canada. If really you want to come here, get yourself in Canada. And then there's a lot of like international population here as well. They will help you figure out things as we move. Oh, your mom had 9 as we were 6. We were close there. Yeah, but here people are having 2, 1, you forget about it, you know. And what I've experienced also, men here, oh my gosh, they don't want to have kids. Like for them to have kids, I'm generalizing. Of course, there are men who want to have kids, but majority I have met, they're just like, wakisikia tu kids, oh my gosh, run. Murife, run. How's nightlife, parties, etc? So nightlife is very vibrant. Apart from the fact that COVID affected all of us everywhere. Nightlife here is actually coming back. There's a lot of things to do. Also, the other thing I need to point out is like it depends on where you live, because there are bigger cities that nightlife is just like over control. Like it's overwhelming. It's really, I would say it's really good for the people who love nightlives. But also, if you come and stay in rural areas like I do, the nightlife is vibrant, but not as vibrant as the cities. So yeah, people do party if you like partying. There are events. One thing I love about Canada, they've come up with different activities. Like you can never be bored, whether it's winter, whether it's fall, whether it's summer. There's so much that you can do as a family or even as a single person that it's really beautiful. Even during the winter, when you think people would be staying at home, people don't stay at home. People go ice skating, people go snowboarding, people have this fun in the snow. It's so much fun. So that's one thing that I like about Canada. You can never be bored unless you want to. Nobody wants to be bored. Oh, Motherhood, thank you so much. I'll just be answering your questions. Well, just chat until more people for sure. Racism. Ah, I usually avoid talking about racism because it's a very it's a little bit of tricky. I would say a very tricky topic, but you know, just like any other country, they're bad people. I call them bad apples. So whew, in Canada, I would say, to be very honest, it's not a lot of racism, but they're there. The only difference is that in Canada, it's the subtle racism. You wouldn't like see it outrightly. Um, it's hidden under like certain nice words. So somebody would be like, I'll give you an example. There's a lady who I was working with, and she's African, and she's the one who actually made me open my eyes, because where we used to work at it's a care facility, and the people we were caring for, they were mentally challenged, and so some of them had limited, like they can't talk well, or they can't talk at all. So our colleagues, some of our Canadian colleagues could be like, okay, whenever we spoke or whenever she spoke, they'll be like, you know, like people who have heavy accents. So whenever they spoke, they'll be like, pardon, excuse me. So they'll make you repeat several times. And this is actually like, it can either be, so I always give people benefit of doubt, because she was saying that, okay, if these people who are mentally challenged can understand what we are saying and they react to what we are saying, how about like a normal person? So personally, I gave it like a benefit of the doubt, because you never know. Some people, honestly, they don't understand our accents, but some people are just like, you know. So there's a little bit subtle racism in Canada. That's why I love Canada, because there's no like outright, or there's no like, it's, you wouldn't see people being racist against you like in a broad day light. However, there are a few bad apples I've heard of. I've never seen myself, but I've heard of. So I think Canada is the best for like different cultures, and yeah, you wouldn't face. And as opposed to say other countries we hear of, I don't want to mention, where like people just go shooting black people everywhere. No, that's rare in Canada, so I've never seen that. Okay, and I'm here. I thought Canada is boring because of the cold. My friend, no, it's not boring at all. Canada is so much fun. I'm not gonna lie about that. Canada is so much fun. My love, as I used to love my country. I still love my country. But since I came to Canada, it has made me go out of my comfort zones. And right now, I'm doing things that I would have never done if I was in my country. It's a lot of activities, a lot of events that they're creating. They're creating like communities everywhere. They're even creating like a speed dating community, where you can just go for 5 minutes, meet several people, and then choose whoever you want, you know? So there's a lot of activities during the winter, even indoors ice skating. You don't have to go to the mountains to ice skate. You can just go and ice skate indoors, and you know, it's a lot of fun. There's board games, it's a lot. And people really, oh my gosh, when I came here, they were asking me like, what do you do in Kenya? I used to just say road trips mostly, and meet up with friends, hang out, pretty much nyama choma and all that. Oh my gosh, it's a lot of activities here, so it's not boring at all. In fact, winter is so fun that sometimes I miss it. I usually say, winter is so good. I wish the snow would come without the cold, but that's impossible. Hi, Martha. Welcome to my live. It's good to see you. A friend was denied an MBA visa. He's reapplying again, but because of fee increase in that school, he's applying for a postgraduate degree, same related field. Will it affect, or if explained well on SOP, it will be okay? Advice. Okay, so your friend was applying for MBA from Kenya. And what was the reason for the denial? Because also that will matter when he's reapplying. You need to improve your situation. The reason why he was denied, then he needs to fulfill that, and he needs to convince the visa officer that he has actually fulfilled the reason, or he has actually improved his situation, so that he can be awarded that. Postgraduate diplomas are cheaper than MBAs, to be honest. But also it depends on what level. Did he just do an undergraduate program, or did he have a master's in that country before applying? Because that will actually affect his application, and I'll tell you why. Personally, I came to do master's in MBA here, and I got the visa. And I was looking, once I was in Canada, I was looking to change, to move from an MBA to a postgraduate diploma, because one, it's cheaper, lesser courses. So, and then MBA is really expensive here, and it's a lot of work. So I was thinking of changing to a a postgraduate diploma, but I wasn't allowed because I had a master's in my country. So their reason is that you cannot be studying backwards. You cannot move from a master's degree to a postgraduate diploma. You understand what I'm saying? So it depends. I need to get the information. What level of education did your friend have in his country, and what was the reason for the denial? And then those two can actually give us more information to work with. But if he didn't have a master's in the country, I think a postgraduate diploma should be okay, as long as he meets the whatever that the reason why he was denied, and unless he improves on that. So if you can tell me why he was denied, the stated reason why he was denied, I think it's a little bit difficult to help just with this limited information. Also, the SOP is very good. You need to really have a good explanation on your SOP. And I talk about this because coming to Canada, you don't get to meet the immigration officer. You don't. The only thing they're relying on are your documents and the SOP. The SOP is just like the interview. So that has to be really perfect. You write it as if you are talking to the immigration officer, and convince them that you really need this and the reasons why. So the SOP is very important. If you can get it professionally done, that's even better. Or if you can just do it and like make it practical. A lot of people also just go on the internet and Google SOP samples, and then they just copy paste. You know, it has to apply to your situation. It has to apply to your experience, to your former education, and then also focused on what you're coming to do in Canada. You have to justify yourself. And I say that's easier for Canada, because then now you don't have to convince like on one the immigration officer, because they don't have interviews. They don't do interviews. So if you can do your SOP the best, then I think and explain. Also, you could also explain and how you have improved your situation, your reason for denial, and then that should be okay. I have a friend who was denied from Zimbabwe, and then she reapplied and she got it. So keep on trying. And while you're trying, don't just give the same documents, the same SOP. Just make sure you improve on your application and convince the immigration officer. Also, if you can shed a light, did he pay for the first semester of school? Because most universities here in Canada, you have to pay, and then that also contributes to your to the outcome of your visa. So I need those information. If you can get those information for me, I will appreciate, and I will be able to advise better. Okay, I've never been interested in Canada, but lately I'm kind of interested a lot. Motherhood Chronicles, come to Canada, my friend. It's fun. It's so much fun. Um, the only thing I would say is that the taxes are very high, but again, the pay is high. So it balances off. So Canada is very, very fun. It's very interesting. There's a big community, Kenyan community, African community that will support you, will ride with you, and it's so much fun. Me, I was having a good job in Kenya, but I decided to move here. I have never regretted at all. I've become generally a happier person in life. Like my life is just more happier. I get to meet more people. I get more pay. It's good. It's really good. So I would encourage you to consider it. And the fact that they allow you to come with your kids also, your family. And once you're here and you're a permanent resident, you can also bring your parents. You can apply for permanent residency for your parents. So that's the thing I love about Canada. Oh yeah, the Kenyan community in Canada is so big. Again, this also depends on the city you're going to. Like in bigger city, you'd expect large community. In Vancouver, for example, there's a really big Kenyan community, and that's when they were planning to invite a Kothe. I think they were inviting a Kothe to come uh, perform. I don't know what happened that she ended up canceling, but there's a big Kenyan community. Hey, me, I eat chapati, I eat omena, I eat apod, I eat Kenyan food comfortably. So there's a big Kenyan community, and you cannot run out of Kenyan food or even Kenyan stuff to do. So yeah. Did I get a scholarship? No, I did not get a scholarship. I paid out of my own money. However, you can get scholarships. And how scholarships work in Canada, mostly I see is that the universities offer those scholarships. So once you get a university, a college, and you are here in Canada, their website has got like scholarships that you can apply for. But the only thing is that you have to be admitted in that university, and you must have gotten like a chance in that university to apply for them. So once I got here, my university is Thompson Rivers University. There were so many scholarships that they were offering to students. So yeah, you can get scholarships, but personally, I just paid. And yeah, the fees here is really expensive. But as I said, come to Canada, it will work out. uh you work, there's so many jobs, and now even the government is letting students work more than 20 hours. You can comfortably pay for your fee. So no, I didn't get a scholarship, but I managed. I worked and paid and survived, and I'm done now. If taxes are high and pay is high and there are job opportunities, the better. It creates a balance. Very true. Yeah, a lot of people say that, oh, you pay taxes, at the end of the day you are left with nothing. It's just like Kenya. As compared Kenya to if you compare Kenya and Canada, Kenya, the pay is not as high. I know that people who are getting high pay, but the pay is not as high. But the taxes are even low. So like it balances. Here the pay is high, the taxes are also high. So again, it's a matter of you to invest and like to use your money wisely, and save. Yeah, there's so many people who have managed to save. I have friends who are actually buying a house. They're still students and they're paying those high taxes. So it balances. It balances. Hi, Martha. Yes, he's from Kenya. Denied due to financial insufficiency. They don't think he'll come back with a post graduate diploma. His proof of funds is now very sufficient. He has another master's. He'd paid for. Okay. So, Martha, I get it. If he has another master's, he can just go ahead and try. But if he has another master's, did he apply to the college? Did he the university he's dealing with? Did they accept him for a postgraduate diploma? Because from my experience, my university from the start didn't allow me to go from MBA to post-graduation diploma, just for the reason I've told you. It's like going from a master's to a bachelor's. It's like going backwards. So if the university allowed him to move to graduate diploma, then that's fine. And then proof of funds. Yeah, so proof of funds, as you all know, you have to show proof of at least 10,000 Canadian dollars, and also paying the first semester fee. So if he had paid the first semester fee, did he have like the 10,000 Canadian dollars? And how many is he bringing his family to Canada? I need to know those, because if he's bringing his family, then the proof of funds gets higher. So yeah, as long as like he has enough, as per the most, like as per the Canadian government, the minimum is 10,000 for one person. As long as he can show that and he has paid first semester fee, I think it should be okay. And as long as the school has also allowed him to move from a master's to a postgraduate. Also, I know friends who moved from master's to postgraduate, but when they were applying for the visa, they didn't mention that they have a master's degree. So, yeah. Also, on the proof of funds, I think I did a video about that. What he can do is, like, if he has family, he can actually combine this statement. So if he has a brother, sister, and uncle who can get some money in their account, he can and they'll just write a letter that they are willing to support him, and then combined with his own statement, that can work. I personally did that. I combined my statement, my brothers, and my sisters, and it worked. So yeah, I think on this, if it was financial insufficiency, I think there was no problem with the SOP. He can just state how he's gonna do that, how he's gonna make sure he takes care of himself while he's here. And of course, with all the other strategies, he can get it. If you're coming as a student and your bank account balance is not enough, do they allow you to have a sponsor, especially someone not your parent? Yeah, somebody else can sponsor you. They allow that. I know people who are sponsored by their MPs, their members of government or whatever. So yeah, you can be allowed, as long as you send a letter and the person sponsoring you has written a letter that they are willing to sponsor you and they have signed there. And that it's always good to be a relative, because you can always prove that that's your brother, your sister, and of course you said not your parent, yeah, or your uncle, because like once you submit the birth certificate, it clearly shows that you're related. It's better if it's your relative, but it does not mean that someone else who is not your relative cannot sponsor you. No, someone who is not your relative can sponsor you. They'll just have to write that letter that they are going to take care of you. They're a member of parliament, or they're so and so. and they're going to take care of you while you're in Canada. And one thing that a lot of people, especially in Africa, are afraid of is that letter that they're writing the immigration that, oh, I take responsibility of this so and so while they're in Canada. They think that they're actually going to use their money to take care of you. I usually say that this is just for sure. You know, once you're in Canada, you will not use their money, and the Canadian government will not deduct money from your from their account. That is what people fear. That oh, I don't want to take that responsibility. I don't want to sign. Oh, I don't want to do. No, they are not going. It's just to show that there's that backup. So people should not be afraid of sponsoring people to come abroad. So yeah, you can get a sponsor other than your parent. And if they don't allow you, you go down education ladder during employment, do they consider your previous training and experience for your own country? Yes, they do. They do consider your experience. So mostly what people would do is you'd have to convert your education from your countries to the Canadian standard. So me personally, what I did is I applied to West, and I changed all my bachelor's degree, my master's degree. I converted them to the Canadian standard. And once you have that, you can present that to the employer and they will consider that. And so me right now, I'm getting a job in my area, what I studied for in my country. And then plus the Canadian education, it even makes it better. So the only thing you will have to do is convert it to the Canadian standard, which they do understand, and they will know, because the West actually states that if you had a master's, they state that, oh, this is an equivalent of a graduate diploma or a master's in Canada. If it is a bachelor's degree, they would actually clearly state that this is an equivalent of a bachelor's degree in Canada. So they really do a good work. And so with that, you can apply for work in your area. And that's the good thing. Okay, I hope I answered your question, motherhood. Okay. I think I've answered that. Okay, Martha, he's applying for postgraduate diploma in project management, Algoma University, as offer letter too. He'll justify in focusing on attaining a managerial skill. He's a manager. Previous school was University of UCW. It's a private university. Is it in Kenya? I've never had University of. I don't know what UCW is, but whatever. So if he has an offer letter, if the university has accepted him, that's good. He's a manager. Okay, if he's a manager, that's even perfect, because project management is yeah, so he can apply for that. I don't think there's a problem with any of that, because he's applying for education in his area, so that's a good thing. Yeah, in the SOP, also he should just justify that how that managerial training will help him back in his country as a manager. So if he can justify that, that's good. And also because his denial was based on financial insufficiency, then he should improve the financial I should improve that situation, and then he should not have a problem at all. Yeah, and I've told you how you can improve the financial thing. You can combine statements, or you can add up money. Also, if he has any assets in Kenya, like land, a car, he can also attach those documents and states that you have all these documents and you have all these assets. There's no way he's gonna come to Canada and not go back to his country, because they said they don't think he'll go back to his country. So if he has a family, one, if he has land, if he has houses, if he has any asset, cars, he can attach that and say that because I have all these things and my family is here and my job, he needs to also get a letter from his job where he's currently employed, then that will support his application and he should be okay. Motherhood, this Canada sounds like so much fun. Yes, it is so much. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm very honest. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. So much fun. I can just tell you, when COVID started, and companies were closing, even schools closed. I don't know, yeah, even schools closed. So my school closed. Where I was working at Winners is a retail store. So I was working there. They had to close down, and so we depend on this pay. So we were just like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna pay rent? How am I gonna eat? How am I gonna do this? Do you know the government of Canada paid even international students, like give us free money just to uh pay rent, and like we were being paid $500 a week. I'm not even kidding you guys. Initially we thought that they were only going to pay the permanent residents and their citizens. Oh my gosh, they paid students. Even students, as long as you're in Canada, they pay us $500 a week for, like, it was called emergency response funds, for like literally, oh my gosh, like that really touched my heart. And I said, if we can do this for our citizens in Africa, that would be really, really good achievement. Like, I can't imagine governments in Kenya paying people even $100 because your work has been terminated for a pandemic that you didn't even like you didn't know would happen. So Canada is really good. They take care of their residents, whether you are a visitor, whether you are a student, whether you are, if you're not a permanent resident, they take care of you so well. And that really touched my heart personally. And we didn't have to pay it back. Can you imagine? You didn't have to. That is 2,000 per month. $2,000 per month. So yes, it's fun motherhood. I wouldn't even lie, it's fun. Martha, interesting because he had over 4 million in account. Didn't apply with families. So with the acceptance letter for Algoma University, he has a chance, overlooking the current master's and first attempt MBA application. Oh my gosh, 4 million is more than enough. For one person, it's a lot. And that should not be a reason. Insufficient funds should not be a reason. Maybe the reason is maybe they thought he was not going back to his country. Because if you check, I'll show you. I think I did a video about it. If you check Canadian website and you check proof of funds, you have to have a minimum of 10,000 Canadian dollars. That's about 1 million Kenya shillings. If he had 4 million, that's more than enough. That's more than enough. So I would suggest that he should actually focus on areas he thinks might be a reason why he's not going back to his country. Maybe he's so much, I don't know, maybe he should maybe write a good SOP and convince them that he's going back to his country when he's done, and show proof that he's going to go back to his country, because 4 million is not insufficient funds. And as you said, he had already paid the first semester fee. That's a lot. If I can show you a proof of funds. For one person is 10,000, regardless of whether where you're coming from. If it's one person, if they didn't, and also the fact that he has a family and his family is staying back, maybe he should write in his SOP that he has family back in Kenya. There's no way he's just going to abandon his family, right? So I don't know if you can see on my screen, but I'll show you. Yeah, I don't think I can show it on the screen, but Yeah, it's 10,000 Canadian dollars for students. Yeah, it's 10,000. So that's more than enough. I would just advise you or him to write a very good SOP and justify that he's gonna go back and give good reasons why he's gonna go back. And family is a very good reason. That he has his family there, his kids, his wife. There's no reason why he would come to Canada and not go back home. And also, as I said, if he has any assets, he can attach them and say, I have these pieces of land, I have a car, I have this and that. There's no reason for him to not go back. So he should stand a chance of getting it. UCW University, Canada West. It's in Vancouver. Oh, okay. University Canada West. Oh, I thought you were talking about Kenya. Let me ask, this is a private university. Did he check if it is post-graduation work permit eligible? You need to check that. Yeah, you need to check that. Vancouver is very good. It's a good choice for him. Thank you so much, Akinyi. You've answered the questions well. Well, I need to go out. My kids to bed. I need to go out to bed. Oh, thank you so much, Melaud, for sticking with me. I really appreciate you being here, and see you soon, my dear. You guys, Motherhood Chronicles. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You go take your kids to bed. I really do appreciate it. So I'll just continue answering the questions that I got from my Instagram as well. So somebody asked, please help me come to Canada. I'm in Dubai. So again, a very hard question to answer. You want to come to Canada as a student, as a permanent resident, as a worker? How do you want to come to Canada? If you want to come to Canada as a student, again, the first process is apply for a university, get an offer, an acceptance letter, and then you apply for a student permit with Canada, the embassy of Canada in the country you are in, if it's in Dubai or if it's in your country. You apply for the student permit, and then after that you come to Canada. If you want to come as an express entry, as a resident, a permanent resident, again, you need to create a profile with the Canadian website and see if your points are high enough so that you can be invited to apply for permanent residency. And then once you get your permanent resident, you come to Canada. As a worker, you need to get a job offer in Canada. And once you get a job offer, you apply for a work permit. Or you can apply for express entry using that work permit. You can also come to Canada as a visitor. And as I told you right now, with a visitor's visa, you can actually change it to a work permit while you're within Canada. So if you want to use that pathway as well, you can come as a visitor or maybe come attend a conference or volunteer with some company, and that you will be given a visitor's visa. And again, once you're in Canada, you can change it to a work permit. So I hope that helps a little bit. How did you manage to pay school fee in Canada? How did I manage to pay school fee in Canada? So, as I said, once you come, the biggest thing is coming to Canada. Once you arrive here, you are inside Canada like this. There are so many options for you to actually help you out pay school in terms of work. You work and go to school. So work as you go to school, and that's how I paid my school fee. And in school, you are allowed a minimum of 3 courses depending on the program you're doing. And that actually is the minimum that meets the immigration rules. So you just have to do at least 3 courses. And these 3 courses, you can do them, and then the rest of the week you work. So that's how I did it personally. There are people who have sponsors, there are people who get scholarships. So there's so many ways of paying school fees once you're in Canada. How can I become a practicing nurse in Canada? Ooh, nurses. So Oh my gosh, the process is so long that I don't know if I can say it in this video, but I gotcha. Let me just give you the process in short. So if you want to become a practicing nurse in Canada, and you don't, I believe you don't have the Canadian license, then the process is you have to go through the National Nursing Assessment Service. So that is the body that assesses your documents and compares it to the Canadian standard. So that is the first step. And then once they do that, by doing that, you have to just like show your identification, proof of schooling. You also have to show that you've never worked in Canada and you're willing to become a registered nurse or an LPM or a psychiatrist nurse. So once you do that and they approve your documents, you pay $650, including one province that they will assess or evaluate your documents against. So the 650 includes the assessing or evaluating your documents, plus also assessing your documents as per the requirements of one of the provinces in Canada. So the reason being, all the provinces in Canada have got different requirements in terms of nursing. So they have their own assessment bodies. So once you go through the National Nursing Assessment Service, they will do that and also do that in one province of your choice. However, some people just want their documents to be evaluated against other provinces so that they have like a big choice or a wide range of choice when it comes to where they can work eventually. So with that, then you will pay $55 extra per province that you want your documents to be evaluated. So once that is done and you've paid the fee, then the next thing is you have to go to the province, now the province of your choice, and also apply to be allowed to work in that province. Again, there's a fee. I have to confirm that. Yeah, there's a fee for that, and that fee varies from province to province. So it's not one standard fee. So for example, you want to go practice in Ontario, you go through the College of Nurses of Ontario, and they will assess your documentation, and also they will want the proof of approval from the National Nursing Assessment Service. So which is why you have to go through the NNS first. So once they have approved that, then you will do an exam. So this exam will determine the scope of your practice before they allow you to work. Once you pass this exam, you have to do NCLEX exam. Now, NCLEX exam, you know that everywhere you have to do this NCLEX exam for you to be given the license. So once you pass the NCLEX exams, then you pay for a licensing fee. Once you pay for that fee, then you get your license and you can work in Canada. Yeah, 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys, I have a cold and my laptop is also going off. There we go. Yeah, so pretty much that's the process of becoming a nurse in Canada. It's very tedious, but once you get that that license, you're good. The other question was, is Canadian visitors visa worth the risk? Yes, it's worth the risk. Visitors visa, as I said, come to Canada. When you are in Canada, we will figure out everything after. It is worth so much than you think it may. So the visitors visa, as I told you, from now, and it's been ongoing until February 28th, 2023. If you come to Canada with a visitor's visa, you can change the visiting visa to a work permit while you are in Canada. So that's a public policy that has been ongoing. So yes, it's worth it. The reason why the visitor's visa will be easy, it's because it does not have so many processes. You can just apply to come here as a visitor for even 2 weeks. You will be given 6 months. It's usually 6 months. So regardless of how many weeks you've said you're coming to visit in Canada, you'll be automatically be given 6 months. So once you come to Canada, you just look for a job. And once you're here, employers are willing to employ you. And when you're here in person, it's even easier because they can see you, they can talk to you, they can, it's way easier. So if you come, you change that. And once you apply for your status to be changed from a visiting visa to a work permit, once you submit the application, you're allowed to start working even before you get the decision of the immigration officer. So once you are here before February 2023, you get a job and you apply for your status to be changed, you can start working even without getting the work permit. It is called implied status. So yeah, it's worth the risk. It's worth more than what you'd think. The other question is, would you please send me a sample of how to write a message to a host family? So I think this lady was talking, there's a video I did about au pair visa, how to go to Europe within the shortest time period. And I think this lady is asking me to give a sample of how to send a message to a host family. So again, I can't give a sample right here on live though, but I would just say in case she watches this video, talking to a host family, just be yourself. You see, I cannot give you one sample to send to all host families. It depends on the questions they are asking you. Be yourself. It's not hard questions. They'll just be asking you things that you've added onto your profile. Like, have you taken care of kids before? What is motivating you to be an au pair in Europe? What are your hobbies? So personally, I cannot tell you that these are your hobbies. You have to write what is applicable to you. But anyways, I think I'll just give you a sample, but you need to make it apply to your situation. So there's no one fits all. It depends. Like I would give you a sample, but the host family is asking for a different thing. How is that going? It'll be like copy pasting something that do not apply. So make it suit. Just be yourself and answer as per your situation. Make it be about you and about them and about what you're doing. So there's no one particular way of doing that. Martha, he showed assets, marriage cert, birth certificates for kids, etc. Also has a previous one visit, visa denied. Both Canada and USA. Has sibling in the USA. He was honest to disclose. Could it have affected the decision? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Martha, I think this one has more than meets the eye. So I don't know if you're comfortable answering, but what I would ask is the visitor's visa that he applied for, and you have said he has a brother in the USA. How did the brother go to the USA? Because you see, Canada, UK, US, Australia, and New Zealand, they share a system. And so sometimes they can actually check the records of your relatives and see what's going on. So his brother, how did he go to the USA, and was it legal there? Because the reason why I'm asking this is that there's a lady who came here on a visitor's visa and immediately got pregnant just so he cannot go back to her country. And then later on, her sisters, her mother, her siblings could not be allowed to come to Canada because of that. So I need to know exactly, we need to know if his brother was legal in the USA. And if it was legal, then I think it's not just about him, it's something tied to his brother. And because you're not supposed to be denied a visitor's visa. And if you have proved that you have a marriage certificate, birth certificate, it should be enough. So maybe if you can share more about the brother, was it there legally, or is there a time period that he was illegal or something? Yeah. So the other question was, how long does it take to get an acceptance letter from a Canadian university? Yeah, how long does it take? So once you apply, again, that also depends from to university. There's some universities that gets you a response within 2 weeks. There's some universities that will take, say, 6 months, 4 months, 2 months. So it varies from university to university. So when you're applying for admission, you just have to ask them. They have like an email for international students. You can ask them how long it's gonna take, so that you just organize yourself, because after that you need to apply for a student permit. You also need to apply to go for medical checks. Yeah, so it's a lot of planning you need to make. So just ask them. There's an email. Ask them how long they're gonna take, because I can't give you one specific number. It depends from university to university. Some universities are so quick, so within 2 weeks you'll get your acceptance letter. Some of them take 1 month, because also there's so many things going on. Like when you apply online, and then once they review your documents, they will need you to send original copies. That's what they did with me. So it also takes time for you to post original copies, unless you use a courier, which will actually be faster. Depends on how long the courier takes to like submit your documents to the university. Yeah. So it's different for everybody, and also for every university. So I can't give you one specific answer. Just like email the university that you're applying to, and then they'll be able to give you an approximate waiting period. Did you use an agency to go to Canada? Would you recommend any? Okay. Personally, I did not use an agency, but I have friends who came here through an agency. So there are agencies in Kenya that are being paid commission by universities in Canada to get students from different parts of Africa to Canada. I know that for sure. So every student they bring to Canada, they're given a certain percentage. So personally, I did not use that, because I thought just doing it by myself online is way easier for me, and I have control of my application, and I can always respond directly and interact directly with the university. But I know so many people who have used agencies. One agency that I can recommend for sure, and that has brought so many people to Canada, is UNICEF. So this video is not even sponsored. So anybody who knows UNICEF out there, tell them that I'm promoting them. They come sponsor me. So UNICEF has actually brought so many students to Canada. A lot of my Kenyan friends, they're like, oh, UNICEF, UNICEF, UNICEF. So I would recommend you guys to try UNICEF. And because they're also working with universities in Canada, it will be easier for you. So UNICEF, they're somewhere in Westlands, I think. Yeah, so just go to their offices, walk to their offices and talk to them, tell them what you want to do in Canada, what course program you want to apply for, and then they'll take it from there and help you out if you don't want to do it by yourself. I see Martha. The saving is there legally, actually via green card. Ooh, okay, so what would be the problem? Because he has enough funds, and he has proved that his family is back home. He has assets. Wow. I don't know what it is, but what I would advise you, Martha, is just tell him to write a very strong SOP, and also if he can get a letter from his current employer or previous employer. And I don't know if it's possible, but you could even ask. He could even ask his employer to say that he'll be on study leave for that period. It is expected to go back to school after that period. I mean, go back to work after that period. Because personally, when I was coming to Canada as a student, I took a leave from my former work now, and they gave me a study leave, and yeah, it stated that after 2 years I was expected to report back to work. So that was also a very strong proof on my end that I had to go back. And this was like a public institution as well. So that helped me a lot. So write a strong SOP, and then if you can get a letter from the employer stating that he's expected to go back to work after the period of that program expires, that would be very, very good. Because he has enough money, he has kids, he stated that. I said he's done that. So just let him do so much work on SOP, and also maybe if he can get a strong letter from his current employer, that would help. Okay. The other question, I created an account with Opel World, found a family in the UK, only to realize UK does not give au pair visa. Which countries accept au pair from Kenya? Okay, so again, this is au pair visa that I talked about. If you go to Au Pair World, the website states which countries accept au pairs from what countries. But I would just tell you UK, Canada, US, Australia, they do not accept au pairs from Kenya. So don't even waste your time chatting with host families, because some host families don't even know that information. Just restrict your host or restrict your profile to finding a host in European countries other than the UK and Switzerland. Switzerland also, they don't accept au pairs from Kenya. So any other country other than Switzerland and the UK, I mean Spain. Spain is my favorite because Spain, they would give you a visa within 1 month. So there's Spain, there's Italy, there's France, there's Sweden, there's Germany, there's you know, all the countries in Europe, they accept au pair other than just UK and Switzerland. So you can apply to those. And then there's another question. I'm pursuing education. Should I do masters and then PhD in Canada? Okay, so this guy is saying that he's in education, so probably he wants to be a teacher. That is what I'm getting from this. And he's asking if he can do a master's and then a PhD in Canada. Yes, you can do that. Why not? You know, why not? You can do that. Because you are in the education field, a PhD degree, especially here in Canada, most likely you would be a lecturer or a professor in a university. But since you are in education field and that's what you're going for, why not do it? But someone like me who wanted to practice and not necessarily become a lecturer or a professor, a PhD was a little bit too much academic for me, because then that would say that I am only limited to the education sector. And personally, I wanted to practice, so that I just did a master's and that's it. Most of the time, if you do a PhD here, most of the time you'll just work in the education sector most of the time. And since you are already in education sector, why not? That's actually a good idea. You can do that. You can do a master's and then a PhD. Nada, thank you so much. We will relay the information and update you on how it goes. I'm sure it will help a person or two here. For sure, Martha, you're welcome. And thank you so much for staying with me. I really do appreciate, and I really hope that this time round he's gonna get it. There's no reason why he shouldn't. There's no reason why he shouldn't get it. He has everything in place. Just write a very strong SOP, and yeah, if he can get a letter from his employer, he's good. With that amount in his account, he's good for proof of finance. So I'm praying for you. I hope your friend gets the visa and he should get the visa. So all the best, and thank you so much. I really do appreciate you keeping me company, and see you in my next live stream. I'm starting to interact with people and get to know people, and so I would appreciate if people come here online so we can share the screen and maybe ask me those questions also in person. I would really, really appreciate that. So thank you. One last question. Between Brampton and Sault Ste. Marie, which town is easy to get a job faster for a new mature student? So you see, all these are cities you're talking about. Like generally in Canada, it's easier to get a job anywhere in Canada, regardless of which city you go to, whether it's a rural area or in the city, jobs are there. Jobs are there. So regardless of where you go to, you will always get a job. Canada employers, they're looking for workers. So, and in fact, their jobs matter, their jobs. So you can't say, but if you just want to know the number just to compare, you can go to indeed.com and then enter the name of the city, for example, Brampton, and then you select the name of, you write the name of the job you're looking for, and then you search. You will have you will see a number of job postings in that city, and then you can change to St. Marie as well, and then search the same job, and then you'll get a number of job postings as of the time you're searching. But I would encourage you not to choose a city based on the number of jobs. There are jobs everywhere here in Canada. I live in the rural area here. It's Vernon. It's called Vernon. Somewhere rural area in Mrs. Small Town. But we can't run out of jobs. They're always constantly advertising and looking for workers. So yeah. Hey Calvin, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate. Can we start afresh? Yes, we can. We can start afresh. Or next week, I'm also doing another live stream. So you can come and maybe you can join the live so that you will be on the screen with me. I would really appreciate that. Martha, live sessions are a good idea. We'll be here till the notification bell stands on. Thank you so much, Martha. I really, really do appreciate. I would also like to know the progress of your brother's situation. So keep me updated. Keep me updated. I will also try talking to a lawyer friend who is here to try find out what the problem would be, because personally, I don't see a problem at all. So keep me updated on your friend's situation, and we will see how to help out and see if we are bringing him here to Canada. And just like, I'm just curious, Martha, are you also interested to come? Are you also interested in coming to Canada? Because I believe you're asking for your friend. Are you are content with the country you are in? Because I know not everybody wants to come to Canada for sure. Let me know if you also want to come to Canada. Calvo, how are you? How are you doing? Nice to see you, my friend. Where is Marcy? Where is Marcy, Calvo? Thank you for joining in. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We have been here for almost an hour. Is it? Yeah, we've been here for 1 hour, 15 minutes, and it's been long, but I believe also I've answered all the questions. So if you have any questions, let me know. Also, just so you know, you guys, the green card is ongoing. So people apply. It only takes less than 1 minute. Less than 1 minute to apply for the green card. Calvo, have you applied? I reminded you to apply for the green card. I don't know if you applied, but you should apply. Apply. It's free of charge. So let me know if you have applied Calvo. Anyways, guys, I've exhausted all the questions. I have answered all the questions that I had from my Facebook and my Instagram. I really do appreciate. I really do appreciate all of you who are here. And yeah, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for keeping me company. If there are no more questions, I think I will end the live. And I can't wait to see you next week, you guys. I really appreciate these lives. It's really nice to talk to you in person, get to know you and interact. It's way better than just sitting in front of a camera and talking nonstop. So thank you so much for joining my live. I really do appreciate. And if you have those questions, leave them in the comments. I will answer you, or come in the next live, we talk about it. So thank you so much, you guys. I will just have to end this live now. And see you in my next video, you guys. Bye bye.